It's like overall. Look, I think a lot of this stuff has to do with genetics too. Like I said, man, I've been putting all types of crazy shit in my body, and I have not. Knock on wood. Is there wood around here? Here's some wood. No cancer in me. They check my prostate and my what's that shit? Balls and the other thing. What's the other thing when they go? Prostate, colon. My
The
colon's fucked.
world's greatest
Yo,
sneaker
can
podcast.
I
We
tell
get your
you?
balls and your colon check.
Look, I turned 45. I got all that shit done. I'm gonna be 46 in a couple of weeks. When I did the colon exam, I thought, not to say that my colon, because the type of food I eat, the type of things I've done to my body, I thought I was gonna have at least some polyps or something down there if I didn't have cancer. You know what polyps are? Those pockets of like undigested food that
Yeah,
lesions in your colon.
yeah.
Zero. My colon was like a fucking like the colon of a high school athlete.
Don't you got to take some special beverage before you do those exams?
Oh
It'll
yeah, in
flush you
another
out.
10 years, 10, 15 years. I
Hit
advise that you
40.
get it done earlier. When you hit 40, just to go do it. Just to get
How
out
bad's
the
the
place.
drink?
I was about to ask
It's
that.
not that bad. The one they gave me or prescribed to me, it was a little about yay big. I drank 2 of them. All it does is make you get severe diarrhea until your poop turns clear or until water starts coming out of your
Dang.
butt. It just cleans you out. That's all it does.
Yeah, they want as little interference as possible when digging in there, I'm
I
sure.
didn't even know, bro, dog. They stuck cameras up my ass and all that. I didn't even know what was happening.
OnlyFans.
I took a I
I
was knocked the fuck out. They put me under some anesthesia. The only thing I remember is waking up I was already back in my little room.
And the doctor was zipping his pants up and was
No,
like, "You're all good."
they were like, "You're done." I'm like, "Wait, I was just like literally was just talking to the nurse about something, and now I'm back here, and I can show you the pictures. They're actually right there. Oh, no.
Yeah, you just heard the dude zip your pants up. Like, all right, doctor's gonna see you. See you.
That my coat spotless, bros. Nothing. No polyps, no cancer, nothing.
This episode is gonna be called "No Polyps."
Oh, but I do one thing, the prostate though, and man, I have a bit of an inflamed prostate at times. So that's something that is just health related.
Black seed oil good for inflammation.
Yeah, I have to. It is. Yeah, it's diet related, and they check the prostate. I don't understand how does not the proctologist, the urologist. I had a female one, and
Don't.
they stuck the finger in, and I was like, "Ooh!" And then she was in there for maybe not even maybe 5 seconds. And I was like, "How can you tell if some?" No, dog, it's weird because I didn't know. Dog, yo, let me tell you something. It's a weird experience because no, this is something all men. I didn't say woo, but I just I didn't clinch up or nothing. And she went up there, check my balls to make sure that they weren't lumpy or anything with cancer, and everything was good.
She was saying if you wanted some H after work.
She was not attractive, but that would be weird. Not attracted to me. I'm sure somebody's attracted to her, but
She might have used it next time. She's gonna use a ring finger. She like, somebody is attracted to me.
Oh my god.
nah, but like, how do they know? Like, I don't know how they could. I asked her too after she was. I was like, "You were just up there for like."
They probably go to
She's like,
school and like feel around and see what a normal one feel like and what an enlarged or inflamed one feels like. And I assume,
Nah, bro.
Like when you get,
Well,
you got.
I'm pretty sure they got 3D printed prostates and
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But I'm like, can I check it myself to avoid a lot of this? Now they have. Now they have. I check it myself. If I could. Like, imagine. Look, would you? Okay, would you check it yourself? Maybe I'll put a survey. Would you rather check your own prostate or have a urologist check it? If you were able to check your own prostate, it was easy enough to check it yourself. Would you do it yourself, like a breast exam, like a woman does breast exam?
But see, a breast exam is non-invasive. You got to dig up your own ass.
Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie. We've done it before. Like you're trying to extra clean, or you're just curious about what's going on. You're gonna do something, and everybody has done it. Don't lie. Look at Mike.
So I just can't see you.
Everybody has done something. I'm not talking about like
coming home, but I'm just saying you coming home, getting naked, showering, putting on a glove, reading this little guide. All right, so start off by dipping fingers in lubricants.
Yeah, she did all that too. She did. You know what fucked me up though? She dumped 2 fingers in the lube. No, she did too. I was like, yo. Then I was like, yo, you putting all that? And she said, no, I'm just using. I was like, why'd you put 2 fingers in the jar?
She said, I just was gonna see if you was gonna go for it, but thanks, Phil. She
Go for it.
just break checking you, bro.
Yeah, nah, but look, every man should get this stuff done. I know we're joking right now, and it's funny, but it's something that you all need to do at some point.
Man,
Because,
it's like
though,
I don't
nah,
even like going to the doctor.
I don't like going to the doctor either, but they
I'm
saved
trying to
my
get
life
better
many
at it.
times.
Yeah, I gotta get better at it.
Nah, bro.
Especially
because-
considering we got health insurance and shit.
Nah, bro. That COVID shit fucked me up. I think everything is sale now when I go to the doctor. I think
What do you
everything is
mean?
sale.
What do you mean?
Do I really need this, or are you just trying to make some money real quick?
I think that
I'll
was
say
a question
this.
before COVID, though.
I'll say
To
this.
be honest,
This is what I hate about the health. Since I'm now that I'm like involved in a lot of health issues, depending on what part of the country you're from, if you live near a major city and all that type of stuff, there's better doctors there, and they look more towards alternative solutions. Like go home and get on a diet and do this, that, and the third. Doctors now, they're more trained to prescribe you medicine that fixes the problem immediately. So like when I come here, the first doctor I saw told me I had diabetes, high blood pressure, and all these things. And I'm like, I don't feel like I have diabetes. But no, I'm diabetes symptomatic, meaning it's reversible. Meaning if I just ate a fucking piece of
If
broccoli.
you eat better, you eat
Yeah.
better, then it'll go away. Yep.
Yeah, the first thing she does is prescribe you 3 pills. A cholesterol pill, a blood pressure
Dude,
pill,
that's that shit.
and another. I'm like, why am I on 3 pills all of a sudden? My other doctor gave me a low dosage of a blood pressure medication called amlodipine. Very common. I looked it up. It's been around since the 1950s. 0 side effects. It's basically a blood thinner, right? And as things got a little worse, now I'm on like a water pill, which is another thing that's been around since like the 1950s. So it's basically, again, takes some salt out of your blood, helps lower your blood pressure, right, in your artery. So I'm on those 2 pills, and they're fine. They don't bother me. Keeps my blood pressure regular. I know my genetics is part of this. I know my diet and lack of exercise at certain points is a big contributor to it. Long story short, I've been to my cardiologist. First thing, I see them on a follow-up. I'm still having the same blood pressure issues and stuff like that. All of a sudden, puts me on 2 more cholesterol pills and all this other shit. I'm like, I didn't even have an issue with my cholesterol. I could just stop eating French fries. You know what I'm saying? Stop eating greasy food or do this, that, and this. Things I could do to regulate it. Nobody even gives you a pamphlet that says, here, eat these types of food or whatever. I have to go do my own research for that shit. And then that's when you go down that rabbit hole that you talk about of all these crazy medicines and shit. And then you're trying all these different supplements that fuck you up and you don't even know what you're doing. And it's like when the modern medicine knows what you should be doing, but they have to prescribe you a pill because they work with the pharmaceuticals to sell you that fucking pill.
Yeah, and they got to get that bread and sell you on it. That's what I'm saying.
And
There's nothing but
cholesterol.
sale.
Yo, everybody, if you eat fast food and all that shit, everybody got a fucking cholesterol problem. You know what I'm saying? This is where it gets fucked up. Cholesterol drugs slow you down. Yo, dog, my feet swole up because what they do is they make your arteries open up and shit. And they do. So I'm like, my feet, legs, everything were hurting all the time when I was on these pills. And I didn't know if it was because I was unhealthy or if it was from the drugs. So I'm sitting here like laying down all the time. I can't go outside for walks. I don't feel comfortable. I'm always tired because they make you tired too. So now, yeah, I'm sitting there. I'm not necessarily gaining weight because I'm on Ozempic, which I love. Those things actually work, and I don't know what it's doing to me, but look, I'll be the guinea pig, whatever. But at the end of the day, all that shit worked. Like, this combination of shit just slowed me down, and I became like a shell of myself. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't doing anything. The minute I got off the cholesterol drugs, and it was by mistake, I ran out. My prescription ran out. So I had to go back to the doctor. And then I was off them for 3 weeks, bro. I did like a 180. I started walking again. I started like going outside, and I actually went for a jog, all this shit, because I had no more pain. The pain went away. I'm like, okay, so this is what they do. They keep you, number one, it's all of the shit, being fat and all that shit's a choice. I don't care what people say. Maybe there's some some people have genetic problems and fibroids or whatever. But most people who are obese by choice because they eat a bunch of food that they shouldn't be eating and they don't exercise or whatever, right? So if you're fat by choice and decide this thing makes it worse, they put you on these pills so you can keep eating the bullshit because it regulates you, right? It makes you feel, it keeps your body from absorbing more cholesterol or whatever and hurting your heart more. But they keep eating fried chicken. They keep eating all the bad shit and processed foods and all that other junk. You're on these pills, so now all you're doing is laying around and some people just get fatter And then you have like those my 600-pound life type of people that just on pills, popping pills. So I'm like
I
wondering.
was watching that this weekend.
But you ever wonder how does a person who weighs 650 pounds eating
Not
fucking
die,
boxes
yeah.
of Dominoes, how come they haven't died yet? And I'm sitting here, look, I'm overweight, but I'm still functional overweight. Like, I can still run and jump and do things, but I feel just as bad as they do, right? On a daily basis while I was on these pills. So that's why I don't trust them, man. My doctor, they tell me all this crazy shit. I'm like, I don't want to take the pills. What is there other ways? And then I was like, try these out for a little bit and get back to me on a follow-up. I'm like, yeah. I don't know, do this shit, man. And that's where I'm at now with it. Right now, I'm very. When we went to Turks and Caicos for that 1 week, bro, I was eating fried food, fried conch, and they had all types of food that you think is unhealthy, and it didn't fit. I left there, I felt amazing, and it's all because of the shit that we eat here, man. Everything's fucked up, man.
Know it.
Everything is
We
fucked
know.
up, man. And I don't even know how to fix it because I still have, and we all have this affinity for certain things. Like, dog, you give me some Cool Ranch Doritos, man. That's a kryptonite for me. I want to eat McDonald's now. I like a little McDonald's burger here, even though it's shitty. But I don't know. There's something about it, right? It's all the chemicals and shit. Yeah, it tastes good, but it's like,
It's all the additives and shit.
yeah, but that shit's
that they
bad.
put
It's
in there.
legit bad for you. Like, they don't even serve that shit in other countries. I'm talking about like third world countries and shit don't even have that stuff. So we're eating all this food that like
Dip in French
it's
fry and
processed.
lard fat and beef tallow and all that shit.
The beef, see, that's that's the thing. Beef tallow is better for frying than vegetable oil. If you, but they don't, because everybody's vegan and all this other shit. Because think about it, animal fats versus vegetable, like one. That's why our arteries get clogged. Like animal fats can do it too. If we were eating human fat, our arteries probably wouldn't clog. This is my pseudoscience going.
All right. Now we're going into a weird spot.
But the animal fats aren't as bad for us as the vegetable oils and all that shit. Yeah. And I don't know. I use avocado oil. I do, but I don't fry food like I used to. I don't really eat a lot of bad food. I try to eat organic maybe here and there.
If I could, I'd eat filet mignon for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
See, I heard that's tough. That might be tough on the colon.
Probably.
Meat.
Yeah.
But it's
a lot
fire.
of meat.
It's fire.
I'm not a filet guy. I'm more of a New York strip guy. I like a little fat on my meat. Pause. Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of pauses that's needed for the last 30 minutes is legendary.
Hey, look, this is a lesson. We got to talk to Sean about that tomorrow because he's due for his colon exam. We got to talk about that.
Yeah,
Man, bro,
sure that man gets it.
bro. That's what I'm saying, bro. You wildin' H.
Hey, look, I'm looking out for my people.
And gotta take care
Don't
of
come back.
Sean.
Look, Mike, you don't go to the doctor. Look, in 10 years.
No, I do. I have to go
I'm
for my
telling you.
prescription every 6 months. I do.
Okay. But I'm just saying, if you go, you have to get these checkups done, man, when you start getting older, man.
I know. I haven't
yeah.
had a physical. My doctor told me I haven't had a physical in like 5-6 years. I'm going in September for my med check.
Yeah.
Living fast, dying young, baby.
Yeah, I haven't had a proper physical since 2000.
I think fine.
You could feel great, but then there's some fucking cancer growing on your nuts or something you don't know about, and then you.
That is true.
Next thing you know.
That's how my uncle died last year.
Yeah.
No, that was this year. He went for a routine little thing in December. Gone in March.
Man,
Isn't that crazy?
Had stage 4 lingering.
But how do you? And he didn't even know it, did he?
Had no idea. He was like, man. He said, I feel a little sensation when I go to the bathroom because it was in his bladder. And he was like, he's still working, taking care of his family, going out, living life. He was getting healthier. He had lost weight, looking good. Next thing you know,
I always wonder.
In 2 months.
Is it the treatments that get you, or is it just
like
cancer?
In his case, he was so far along. Like it was one point, the doctor was like, "Hey man, did you want to opt for this surgery we can do for you and this treatment?" And he was like, "How long that's gonna give me?" He was like, "Another 2-3 weeks at best." He said, "No." So he never got like radiation or nothing like that.
See, that's
like I said, he was so far along.
But was he in pain when he went into the doctor and got this?
Nothing substantial. Nothing.
And all of a sudden, he was just downhill
because it had progressed.
Well, when somebody tells you that, though, like then it's in your brain. You ever heard the theory that people that are in
Mind
like
over matter type shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like the people that are in crazy houses, right? They're there because they believe that they're crazy. It's a far fetched theory, but I could see that being a thing because you're being told you're crazy by so many people. So it's almost like you force yourself to believe it. So it's, if you were to go to the doctor and they're like, "Yeah, bro, you got cancer," so fuck.
Not every little thing that you probably
Or
didn't
thinking about it.
notice
That's all you're
is
thinking about is
at
fuck.
the
I have
forefront of
cancer.
your
Yeah.
brain. Yeah.
What the
I
fuck?
remember this guy. You guys know Combat Jack? He was a podcast guy. He used to be
Nah.
he's a hip be a lawyer. But he had what did he have? I think he died from colon cancer. But he was literally like one day he just was like, "Oh, I got a sharp pain in my side." And he went to the fucking doctor and colon cancer. And then he was gone in 2 months.
Okay.
And I'm like, "What the fuck? How?" Like, it's just
Because
it's so
you're thinking-
weird.
If that's all you're thinking about, bro.
Yeah. I'll give you
Yeah,
another
it's like-
example. My father-in-law, who just passed away this past December, he had untreated, I want to say kidney cancer. The tumor grew. It was a huge tumor. It was like poking out his side. Untreated for years. Goes in and says, they say, "Oh, you got cancer." They took it out. And they gave him a few months. He ended up living 10 years extra after that. This is like 2014, 15.
Roll of the dice, brother.
Yeah, but the cancer, it was chronic. So it started spreading because at that point, once cancer cells are in your body, especially when you have a tumor that big. So he was in and out, but there was a point there for almost 5 years where he was like really, like after his first treatments, it took him a year to bounce back. This dude was out there hooping. He was playing tennis again, all this shit. Last year, or maybe 2023 or something like that, it spread to his bones. And then he couldn't like move like he used to. And that's when he started slowing down. That's when it started to like really, because he's the only thing I think it was partially mental that kept him going, but also the fact that he was able to overcome that pain and all that stuff by going out there and playing tennis and basketball and all those types of things. I took him we was hooping at the rec center with like teenagers and he was running full court at 68 years old or whatever. And at cancer, still popping cancer pills, whatever he has. But he took treatments and all that. Then he went down this little holistic path for a little bit. But it is really mind over matter with a lot of that shit. That's my point with this. It's if you believe that you're gonna die, you're probably gonna die.
It's if you wake up and you say, "Damn, I'm gonna have a fucked up day." 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have a fucked up day.
Yeah.
But if you wake up and you're like you're positive, then usually your day is pretty good.
When I think about these things, when I was terrified, like when I was going in for these colon and prostate checks, I was like, what if they find something, right? And it made me feel like shit. Once I was out of there, I felt like invincible again. Oh shit, let me go get drunk. Let me go inhale something, do this and that. Let me ride with no seatbelt on. Let me do something.
Living on the edge, boy.
The edge.
Let me take this clean bill of health and ruin it.
No, I'm just saying, but like that type of stuff, you feel that you have an edge over the competition once you know that you're a little bit healthier than somebody else. And mentally, it makes you feel better. But then also, like waking up, even now, like ever since we got back from vacation, I went back downhill again, and I'm like, oh, I got little aches and pains and shit, and all this stuff. Mike, I talk to you like every day. Like I'm just not fully back in my zone. So it's just weird. And I've been thinking about health stuff and all that other junk, man. As you get older, it's just tough. And then you also have all these responsibilities and all this other crap. Like life is just. Imagine if we didn't have to worry about money and all that.
Yeah, my life would be a lot less stressful.
I know. And you'd probably be a lot healthier, especially modern medicine, man. A good combination of life, like good living, modern medicine. And you can see, why do rich people live forever? Like they're 90 something.
Because they don't have the same stress.
They have phenomenal nutrition and access to modern medicine.
Exactly. Yeah. And they understand, like people tell them, oh, you shouldn't be eating this. You shouldn't be eating processed food.
They don't have to spend as much time. They've broken out of the system where they have to exchange their time for money so they can do stuff like leisurely walks outside, release endorphins, and be amongst nature and get vitamin D naturally from the sun without having to take a pill for it and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot, man. This is crazy. It all leads back to like sneakers and shit.
It all leads back to sneakers.
And on that note, it is late. I think that this conversation went into a whole path that probably shouldn't have, but I feel good about it. And I hope I taught you guys a lesson. Get your prostate checked out. Don't be scared of the finger.
Get your balls checked, get your holes probed, and remember to vote in the poll.
If you had the ability to check your own prostate,
Would you? And would you do it for fun or would you do it for health reasons?
Mike would be like, for fun.